I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad. You keep sanding.
Hi, I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and one of the things that I do on this channel each week is that I share different challenges, different changes that I'm going through in my life and different ways that I'm making my life better. Now, I have been through a season of change recently with my household going from 4 children at home to 1 child at home while the others have gone off out into the world and are carving their path as adults. At the same time as all of my children have started to move on and leave home and go off to university and go off travelling and do all their stuff, I have also been going through some changes in my life with growing my business and growing this channel and all sorts of other little bits and bobs that really I needed a space in the house for. I've got a room that isn't being used anymore and a need for a home office. So I decided to transform what had been my teenage boy's bedroom into an office that is both accessible for me and my chronic illness, has got a little bit of magic baked into the walls to help things go successfully, and gives me the space that I need for recording things like lessons for the Living Craft, doing my calls on the live calls for the Living Craft course, but also doing recordings like this video and doing my paid video editing work as well. And so I needed a space that could be quite flexible and also that my son could still sleep in when he comes back for Christmas and things like that. Here is how I did it. So our starting spot was not ideal. There were a lot of blue tack on the walls, a lot of paint had come off the walls where posters had been taken down, and we were trying to go over really, really dark walls as well. There were a lot of holes in the walls as well, because this hasn't just been my teenage boy's bedroom, you know, it was my oldest child's bedroom before that. It had a huge cabin bed taking up most of the space in there, and it was just a really, really difficult space to navigate. So once we'd cleared everything out, this is what we were left with, and I must say it drives me half crazy getting all of this blue tack off of the walls. Now, as a practicing witch of 25 years, I did have to have a little bit of magic in the room that I'm going to be doing most of my work in, especially because I'm going to be doing witchcraft work. So the first step actually for me was working out a bunch of different sigils. They've all got various different meanings, and when I was happy with the composition of them, I got these cute metallic pens because then I can match the colour to my intentions, and I just went crazy writing them on the floor and the walls and everything else, so that by the end of that little 5-10 minute period, I had a room that was completely covered in sigils. Now you're probably thinking, why would you put those on the walls that you are clearly going to have to paint anyway? But that is why I did it then. Put them on the floor so that they'll be under the carpet, and I put them on the walls so they'll be under the paint, and they will just be there working away in the background where no one can even see them. I do feel a little bit for the next people that live in our house, because they may wonder what those are, but hopefully they're giving, you know, nice vibes and not scary murder house vibes. But we'll see. Maybe the future tenants will find this video and realise that these are all prosperity and peace sort of symbols. Next step was polyfillering up the walls, and it needed a lot because where the paint and the wallpaper underneath the paint had been ripped off of the walls with the posters, I didn't want to have to strip all of this wallpaper, okay? So we just skimmed over any broken parts of paper, any parts that had been pulled off of the walls, all of the drawing pin holes, all of the little holes in the walls where things had been broken, and honestly, by the end, the wall was almost more polyfiller than wall. And then, of course, I had to sand it all. Sanding things with my shoulder injury is a laborious and tedious task that causes me quite a lot of pain. So I had to sand for what felt like about approximately 14 million years. You know, civilizations rose and fell, aliens invaded, AI took over, overheated, and went away again. And yet I was still sanding. I would not recommend.
How you doing, Mum?
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad. You keep sanding.
I genuinely think that this aged me by at least a decade. I was aching on my aches after that, but then it was time to start painting. Now I just got this cheap roller set and this really cheap brush set. I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on this project because I needed to get this done and I was on a super tight budget. So we hit Wix's and we just got the most basic roller set and the most basic brush set. And then I got a massive tub of this Leyland trade paint. It's a contract matte white, brilliant white, because that is the same shade in every brand. So it's super easy to touch up if you get sort of scuffs on your wall or dirt on your wall that won't come off, or you've tried to scrub dirt off your wall and taken the paint off. Every brilliant white is the same shade. And it was time to start painting. Through the magic of editing though, I decided to speed this process up for you because putting white on top of really, really dark grey was definitely going to take me a very long time. So eventually when I worked out how to open the paint without splattering it everywhere, and oh, look at that forbidden pudding, doesn't it look good? It was time to get this paint up onto the walls. I can't actually be asked to paint it properly though, so I'm just going to throw it at the wall and hope it turns out all right. If only that was all I'd had to do to get these walls white. It took about 4 coats and I ended up having to enlist the help of my husband, but eventually we had a blank canvas. The next step was putting down these carpet tiles, which to be honest I chose entirely because they were cheap. They do not look the best, but they feel really nice underfoot, and I have some spares left over, so I'll be able to replace one if they get stained. We did have to do some cutting to get it to fit round the edges, but because they're just made of foam, they were super easy to cut just with scissors. I didn't even need a Stanley knife for it, and I'm actually quite pleased with how it turned out. Next I put together the day bed, threw some cushions on that to make it look more sofa-like, and I was quite pleased with how that was coming along. I even threw in my hand-knitted blanket, mainly to keep next door's cat's hair off of the bed, but I think it looks really, really nice in there. I'll show you it when it's all finished completely. I got this cover for my son's old gaming chair. It was actually a little bit too small, but I made it work. And I got this desk that allegedly can be adjusted to a standing desk, but I haven't done that yet. In that little bucket of what looks like tulips, they're actually pens. And then I also got a new lampshade for the room as well. It kind of looks like a green flower, and I think it's kind of got a 60s vibe to it. It's super cute. I ended up buying some bigger cushions for the bed and wrapping a bunch of fairy lights around the frame, which I think looks really, really cute. And then I've got my canvas hanging on the wall, which I'll talk you through a little bit more in a minute. I've got my pot plant in there. My laptop's all set up in there. I've even got a little water bottle so that I remember to stay hydrated upstairs because I don't want to be drinking bathroom water. And I have got my little yellow glasses there to stop myself from getting migraines. It's another way that I make my work a little bit more accessible to me. I've got these cute little star-shaped fairy lights that were given to me by my friend Sassy when she heard that I was redoing the room for myself. I think that they're adorable as well. And I even managed to find a blind that matched my lampshade, which I was pretty pleased about. These are my little tulip pens. They're each biros, and the white flowers change colour in the sunlight, but not in here because it's a north-facing room, so it's not as bright as I would like. But overall, I'm really, really pleased with how the room came together, and I am sure that it is going to be a great place to work. My favourite thing though has to be this gorgeous canvas print of the summer realm. Absolutely love this world, and I'm so glad that my workspace contains such a beautiful reminder of it. Now I have in fact changed a couple of little bits since I filmed the little walkthrough, so I thought I would show you real quick. So yeah, I still have my plant over here, but I've moved the radio over here because the wire for it was a little bit too short to be plugged in anywhere else. There's my little day bed there. Still got some more cushions on there. Excuse my ring light, that's where I was just doing my morning video a minute ago. I moved my money bowl area over here. And I think I added another plant. I don't think that was in there when I did my initial walkthrough. So that is the office. I am very pleased with it. But this has been my favourite part of all of it. This is the map that comes from the Summer Realm series. It's the finished map, not our starting map, which was very, very empty in comparison. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous there on the wall. Look at that. I had it printed out on a canvas. Cost me a small fortune, but I am so, so happy with it. I love all the details that we can see with it being this big. It looks so much clearer than it does in the book, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And while we're discussing that, I have to let you know that all 3 of the Summer Realm books are actually on special offer this week and this week only. Agents of Secrets and Lies, which is the first book, is I think 99p, and the others have got massive discounts as well. So if you've been meaning to get your hands on the series, you haven't got round to it yet, this week would be the best week. I will stick a link on the screen, but I will also put it in the description for you so you can grab it at special offer price. So I hope that you enjoyed my little office tour there and seeing it all come together. There was moments when I thought that the sanding would never ever end, but we got there eventually, and I'll be able to use this space for recording from now on. So join me on Monday for my next vlog. I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in this room. And if you can't wait until then to see me again, I will be here every single morning in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for. Because when we notice the things that we're grateful for more regularly, it trains our brain to look out for more things that make us happy. And that just makes our whole life happier. So join in the comments with me and let me know what you're grateful for each day, because I love, love, love seeing what makes you happy. It just makes me really happy too. So like and subscribe, or don't, I'm not your mum, but either way, you have yourself a magical week.